So, my friends, we mustn't try and confine God to a box that is being driven by finite words defined by finite spirits. You see, for example, you call yourself an American, or I call myself from whatever place. These things, how long have they lasted? See, one day with God is 1,000 years with man. So it's not even worth one day with God. See? So we need to really think about what we're talking. We need to have a relationship with Him. See? We need to stop trying to define God with temporal things. You can't do that. So if you, for example, if I take the word where the parable of the talents, you know, where this guy had talents and this, I take the physical words and I interpret them carnally with the spirits of this world. This is how the world would interpret it. You see, oh, I take this, I make money, oh yeah, I'm going to be rich. And they think I'm going to be, this is all going to happen to me physically. You see? And the truth is this, that talents symbolize, you know, gold, silver, and the weights of these things, bronze, so on and so forth. Now, when you look at treasure to God and treasure to the world, it's opposite. God's treasure is treasure that passes through the consuming fire. You see, the ones that flesh and blood cannot inherit, but only spirit can inherit that treasure. So when God says silver and gold, He's not talking about the silver and gold that the world says. Peter said, silver and gold have I none, but what such that I have I give unto you. Rise up and walk. You see, rich people of the world are tempted far greater. They are carried away into many wrong things. You see, and they live in their own world. See, they become their own gods. You see, and this is what they've sold to people in America, especially, that you can become a god just like them, you know, and you can live this life based on credit and all these things, when they don't really care. They've done that to own you. You see, are all rich people bad? No, but it's very hard for a rich person to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Very, very hard. Very, very few of these kind. Most of the time, because they have a hope in the world. You see, Paul said, hope that is seen is not hope. Later on, he went to say, focus not on the seen, but on the unseen. What is seen is temporary. What is unseen is eternal. See, so they focus on this seen. Now, when you look at the poor people of the world, they don't have a hope in these things. See, so it's much easier for them to receive God and to receive His kingdom. See? So they are not arrogant or prideful, or now they are some arrogant people everywhere you go, it's true. But more than likely, when you meet a poor person, most of the time they are humble. You see? Because they've lived this hard life. You see? So this is why, you know, we mustn't try and put God inside one of these finite bubbles and say, well, God is this and God is that, when, you know, you're just speculating. You see, this is the same condition in the world. The wisdom of the world is based on speculation. You see, it's not based on hard truth. It's based on speculation. You see, and that's the problem. The whole economy is based on speculators. Now we've got Christian speculators, you know, who come in and start trying to predict this and prognosticate and become your guru, so that they can keep selling you books, because that's what they do in the world. And that's what they've trusted in. They've trusted in Goliath, in quotations, the one that appears mighty and powerful, when you shouldn't even trust in David, but you should trust in what David testified of, which is what? Which is the name of his God. You see, David was a man like you and me. So we have to have that ability to call on the name of God. Not just say, well, David called on God's name and then David becomes God. No. This is the problem. You need to go through the things that David went through. You're not going through that, and you're not being defined by God, because you're not going through anything. You're living in a fantasy. In a fantasy of theories and head knowledge and smokes and mirrors all over the place. And then you see, this is the problem. We here in America, we're taught to live an easy life. And it's not really easy. It's just easy for a period of time. The hardness is coming. But what's happening is that the hardness is just being postponed and postponed and postponed until the point where it becomes a tsunami in every realm. You know? Tsunami financially, tsunami politically, tsunami spiritually, and in all different ways. And this is what happens. I once told somebody, they were like, he was talking to me about his life and this and that, and telling me, I've got this problem and that. And this went on for a year, until one day I told him, I said, excuse me, would you allow me to be honest with you? And he says, yeah, go ahead. I said, no, are you sure you want me to be honest with you? Because I'm not of this place. I'm not politically correct, and I just tell people a lot of the time when time comes, And I told him, I said, you are the kind of person who you've got 10,000 thorns in your flesh, and what you want me to do is give you, in quotations, cocaine to make you overcome the pain, and then to put a smile on your face. And act like everything is okay. I said, you know what you have to start doing, right? You have to start removing those thorns. That's what you have to start doing. I said, I'll help you go through that. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen like you push a button and it goes away. I said, you can't remove all those thorns at one go because you die. You have to remove a few of them at a time and then allow that to heal. Then you start removing that, and then it's all this pain that you have to go through, you see, until the point where you've passed half the amount of thorns. Now the pain it's there, but it starts to slowly reduce, you see. And so people don't understand this, that you can't go around just living this artificial life on cocaine in a metaphoric sense and in the literal sense, you see. All these handouts and things like that, and this money based on credit, that's it's not free. It's destroying you, and it never came from the right place. It comes from oppression of the poor people of the world, you see. And we are busy trying to be defined by politics and social, and we go and trust in Democrats and Republicans and conservatives and liberals and middles and left wing and right flying and ducks and all this other stuff. These words are defined by the spirits of the world. We need to go to the Holy Spirit, defined by Him, and then preach and speak and live that, and be guided by Him, and tell people, hey, this is wrong. I'm not going to choose the lesser of two evils. You see, I don't do that. We're not here to start preaching politics and saying this is the salvation and this is the way out. We have to go and be active in the political system, the same system we criticized just yesterday, and we were talking trash about this. Then when something happens, you run to it for salvation, and then you say you're free. How can you be free? This is not real freedom. Freedom is only if you this is mainly I'm saying to so-called believers. Freedom is only in Jesus Christ and being defined by His Spirit. The infinite defining the finite.